Hi, my name is Jacob and I want to show you how to add advanced filtering to a CMS collection using our extension. That filtering is based only on the use of checkboxes. So let's start by presenting the base project. As you can see, I already have a CMS collection and filters panel with 3 options. And additionally, I have created useful components like loader, view of empty collection, and load more button, which will later connect to the main component of the extension. Now we can move to CMS. I have a collection created with different breeds of dogs, and when we click a single item, you can see that each breed has an origin by which we will filter the list. Okay, let's get back to the project. For our filters, I created a custom checkbox component, and there are a few things you need to know. When you create a component to serve as checkbox, you need to consider the names of the variants. The primary variant must be named unchecked and secondary checked, and for each child inside the component, set the pointer event to none. Otherwise, extension will not work. Now we can back to home, and we will start implementing the extension. First, we need to add 3 custom code components. Just copy the links, which can be found in the documentation, and paste them to the project. If you have already pasted them, you can remove them from the layer for the moment. Now, go to the assets and create new code override file, or edit the existing one and paste 2 functions from the documentation. These functions help us to add an additional class to the checkbox and collection item. Back to home and let's start configuring the filters. First, we need to add checkbox wrapper component, which includes the following properties. Name identifies the filter. In our example, we set it to origin. The value will be England, and checkbox is a custom component developed by us, and as you can see in the list, we don't see our checkbox component, and this is because it must be outside the layout. And place the element in the free space. Now we can select the correct component from the list. Next, use the code override file to assign the class to the checkbox. So we choose a function called with class for checkbox. And with every option we need to do the same steps. Welcome back. As you can see, I already set up all options. Now we take care of CMS collection. First, we need to add class to stack, which is container for a single item. So, click on the code overrides property and select the function called with class for collection item. And then, inside the stack, we can add a collection item filter component that contains the following properties. Name should be identical to the name set in the checkbox wrapper component. We set it to origin, and in the value property we pass a field from the CMS. In our case it will be the origin. And to be sure that the component will be hidden, we can set the position to absolute and z-index to -1. Now we need to move our collection outside the layout. drag whole component here, add collection manager component to the layer and put it in the right place. Next, we need to connect the created components into the correct fields in the properties. So we start from CMS collection, load more button, empty collection view, and loader. All the necessary components are connected, so we can talk about configuration options. In the config, we can set the match option to any and precise. Any looks for any item that matches at least one filter, and precise finds for items that match our filters. In the pagination, you can set limit, which is a maximum number of items to display. Duration of loading is the time in milliseconds for the artificial loading. And margin top is the space between our load more button and collection list. Now we can move to grid options. With that we can simplify set number of columns and define space between. For example, I can change it to 2 and set gap to 15 pixels. For my project, I will set up a layout with one column and gap to 20 pixels. We have gap mode, and that helps us to switch to advanced mode, which allows us to set the spacing between rows and columns separately. And I set the width of my list to 600 pixels. The last option left is visibility of the collection on canvas. This option allows you to hide the list only within the Framer application. However, this doesn't automatically mean the list will be invisible on the website. Okay, I think we are all done, so we can see how our filtering works.